When we think of the richest people in the world, we often picture those who flaunt their wealth. But there's another group of extremely rich people who chose to vanish into thin air, leaving behind not just their old lives, but also most of their wealth. What makes these stories even more intriguing is that these individuals didn't walk away from millions or even tens of millions, but from billions. So what led them to make such drastic decisions? And how did they manage to disappear without a trace? Let's find out. Jason Paul, who had an estimated net worth of $2.3 billion at his peak, was so disgusted by the greed he saw around him that he decided to abandon his lavish lifestyle and simplify his life. He sold all of his worldly possessions and now lives in a small apartment in Thailand. Howard Hughes was a billionaire known for his eccentric personality and peculiar habits. He became increasingly reclusive as he aged, rarely leaving his mansion in the last years of his life. After being diagnosed with multiple health issues, he retreated into a shell, avoiding all forms of communication and only leaving his home for medical appointments. His obsessive fear of germs led him to carry around a portable vacuum cleaner and air purifier. When he passed away in 1976, it was discovered that he had left behind a vast fortune of $484 billion in today's money. Take the case of Kirk Kerkorian, the $1.9 billion man who gave up his fortune to live like a pauper. He once said, "Money doesn't make people happy, but it does make them comfortable." And comfortable he certainly was not in his early years. Born into poverty during the Great Depression, he knew what it meant to struggle financially. Despite his humble beginnings, Corky, as he was affectionately called, managed to build a business empire that spanned across several industries, including casinos, car companies, and even the Miss America pageant. However, despite his incredible wealth, Corky was far from satisfied. He was known for his frugal habits, such as driving an old car and staying at cheap motels while on business trips. But as time went on, his habits became even more eccentric. He started sleeping during the day and partying all night, and he was even caught driving drunk on several occasions. In his later years, he began giving away large sums of money to charities, and eventually, he even sold his multi-million-dollar homes and moved into a small apartment. He once explained his decision to simplify his life by saying, "I don't need any more money. I've got enough. I've worked hard all my life and now I want to enjoy myself. I want to have fun." And fun he did have until his passing at the age of 90. Then we have the enigmatic Sir Thomas Beecham, whose story reads like a plot from one of his own adventure novels. This British billionaire made his fortune in pharmaceuticals and was knighted for his contributions to the industry. But his wealth didn't come without its challenges. At one point, Sir Thomas found himself in a legal battle with the US government over his company's pricing practices. As the case dragged on, he grew increasingly frustrated with the legal system, and with it, his mental state began to deteriorate. Eventually, he disappeared from public view, leaving his friends and family baffled. Rumors swirled that he had faked his own death, and some even believed he had gone into witness protection. But the truth was much simpler and perhaps even sadder. He had checked into a psychiatric hospital for treatment. It wasn't long after that he passed away due to complications from pneumonia. Next, we have Jim Gray, a software engineer who had a net worth of $3.5 billion. But despite his staggering wealth, he chose to live in a modest two-bedroom house and drove an old Toyota Corolla. He was passionate about flying and owned a single-engine propeller plane which he used to travel frequently. Tragically, in 2009, he and his wife were on a flight to Idaho when their plane disappeared without a trace. A search and rescue mission was launched, but no wreckage was ever found, and no trace of the couple has ever been recovered. Lastly, let's talk about Chris Larsen, the mysterious tech billionaire who vanished after selling his company for $1.2 billion. He founded a popular social media platform but stepped down from his role as CEO in 2016, leaving many to speculate about his reasons for doing so. What's even more puzzling is that he completely disappeared from public view and there have been no sightings of him since. Some say he's living a quiet life away from the spotlight, while others believe he may have faked his own death. These are just a few examples of the many rich people who have chosen to give up their fortunes and disappear. While their reasons for doing so may vary, one thing is common. They all lived incredibly unique and fascinating lives that will likely continue to captivate people for years to come. From eccentric billionaires to tech moguls, these individuals remind us that money and success don't always bring happiness, and that sometimes it's better to walk away and start over than to hold on to everything you have. So, if you're feeling stuck in your current situation, remember that anything is possible. And you can always change your life for the better, even if it means starting from scratch.